Hello, everybody. So, there's gonna be a sneeze. Okay, maybe not. I'm staying at somebody's house because I'm dog sitting. And I love, like, something I absolutely love about staying at other people's their house, is I get to, I get to read their shiz. I get to read their books. And there's nothing like being able to read somebody else's books, right? It's like you get to take a dive into it's like almost as personal as their diary, because it's what they were drawn to. It's the words written on paper that they wanted to consume and digest. It's like opening up their fridge, but it's their mental fridge. You get to see what they are mentally consuming and what there were drifts and sails around in the depths of their subconscious mind. And I would like to take it further and say, really, their subconscious soul rhythms. So it really gets me giddy. And I found this book, The Amulet, and as soon as I started reading it, I began to notice that it was just like every other story that I absolutely love. And it's the story of a young person, in this case a young woman, a young girl, who knows that there is more to life than just your mundane, regular, already pre-paved path. She knows something, there's more out there. And though the adults in her life and the authority figures in her life tell her, don't stray beyond the pre-paved path, she's like, I want to listen to you because I love you and I trust you, but I feel as though there just is something that is yet to be discovered, or at least has been forgotten about. And I'm here to rediscover it. I'm here to reclaim it. I'm here to explore those parts, those tunnels, those hallways, those basements, those dark places in which this spark of light still exists. And I know it's out there. And so she has a journey where she comes to work with this stone and its magic and its power. And so what has worked for me was the idea that it's all profoundly perfect. Those who have ever stepped in front of us as we walked on our path and said, don't go any further. I warn you, there's no hope in this path. You are foolish. You are disillusioned. You're in a state of delusion. Turn back, just go the way that everybody else before you has gone. Why do you feel the need to stray off? This dog is a farting master today. Oh my god. Ay, caramba. So not all of us feel the same call to take that path less traveled, or that path never traveled. And then it's like God knows that our soul will never quiet, knows that our soul remembers and knows something that cannot be forgotten. And so, yes, the world may succeed in getting us to stay in our lane, stay in the lane that has already been created for us. But God knows that we will always have that calling, that feeling like there's more. There's more than to this way of life. And so I don't think that we are supposed to bow out and back down. I think that God knows that we will, those of us who are really insistent, we will not let go. It's like hearing something and then you're like, did you guys hear that? And everybody's like, no, what are you talking about? And you're like, I know that wasn't just my imagination. I know that I heard something. And so you might stop talking about it to other people and asking them, like, are you sure you didn't hear that? Like, I know I heard something. You may stop talking to them about it, but you will know somewhere in your heart that you're not crazy and that you did in fact hear something. And you heard something unearthly. Or maybe it was so earthly, but it was ancient. And you don't let it go. It's such a typical story that we find in these, from Disney animated movies to Pixar to, the old legends of a man or a woman, a soul that is determined because they're being led by something higher, something deep within. And it's often about something that's been lost. Like in this case, it's the amulet, this stone that holds the power. It's been lost, and it's time for her to, this main character, to join with it because it needs her just as much as she needs it. It's like God, right? Like God needs us just as much as we need God. We are symbiotic in one version of the illusion, and then in the truth of the truth we are one and never have been separate. Something ancient, something forgotten. The journey to go retrieve it, the journey to receive it, the journey to activate the ancient magic. And knowing someone needs to be the light bearer and hold the torch through the dark and say, I know it is here. Something is calling me. Something is calling me towards it. And I will not back down. People are put on our path specifically to try to deter us because they know that it will only make us more determined. In my path, on my path, as Isabel, I have gone through cycles of doubting everything I once learned and doubting everything that I once took as total truth. So I'll get to a place where I am totally like this is the truth. I figured it out. Like, I'm getting somewhere, I'm understanding something. And then something will happen internally where it's like, wait, that could all be false. Like, that you just were like so certain of could literally be absolute nonsense and illusion. And then I just keep finding myself back to it though. Something keeps pulling me back, like a mathematician, like probably like how Albert Einstein felt when it was like, I don't know, he would maybe be suggested or told to give up, like he was never going to find, solve the equation or be able to invent what he invented or figure out what he figured out. Figured out. But there's this like ticking inside. This ticking. Odessa has a song, if you're familiar. I believe it's called Intro. And it's this woman who's telling this man a story about an astronaut. And he's like up in the spaceship alone, orbiting Earth. Or maybe he's just in the depths of space. And he hears this ticking. And at first it drives him mad. And he can't find out where it's coming from, and it's just driving him crazy. And he's all alone up there, just amongst the stars. And eventually he begins to fall in love with it. He comes to love it. He learns to love the ticking. There is a ticking that drives some of us. We may be called the seekers. That's a word that has come before to me. Moana, from Moana, the Disney animated movie, she's a seeker. Matilda was a seeker. And so when I took ayahuasca, they gave me a vision that said, all these movies you loved and gravitated towards when you were little, you gravitated towards them and they found you just as much as you found them. Because you are those girls. Those girls are you. It is true that you feel the way you feel, and I can't explain it in words, but I know there's something out there, and it's actually not really out there. It's inside. But as above, so below, and as within, so without. And so, there is a stone. There is a stone out there. Whether it be a stone or a key, an ankh, another ancient symbol, the ankh. There is a light, there is a cave with ancient drawings and scribbles. There is an unlocking, and maybe it's just a symbolic, it's all symbolism. For there is an unlocking of codes. What are codes? Codes are symbolic instructions that instruct, that inform, that create. Our DNA, our codes, is a code. It's like the coding, you code with zeros and ones. a computer so that the computer is instructed, informed to perform in a certain way. There's an unlocking occurring. There's an unlocking. It's intense. There's an unlocking occurring, an unfolding, an opening up of a door. And there's a light within that door or behind that door that has been waiting for the perfect timing to reveal itself. It's always been about the right time. It's always been about everything shaking into place, setting into place. You know, it's like the walls start to rumble and vibrate in the cave, and as they do, the vibration, reverberation sets these stones into their perfect placement so that the wall turns into a door and is unlocked. Everything settles right where it needs to be. Like an earthquake could be seen as a tragedy, but in the higher realms, it could just be seen as a recalibration. The earth is recalibrating. Have you ever seen a dog like shake? Like it'll get into something and then it'll just shake. Shake it off. It's recalibrating its spine. It's recalibrating its energetic system. The earth is an energetic system. I believe that's what the earthquakes are for, to recalibrate, to set everything back in its proper place. Opening up. Opening up. If you joined me for this, I invite you to reach out with anything that this might have sparked for you, because you too hold the keys and the codes. You hold one of the keys. And when we share, it's powerful when we share. It's like we exchange some of the codes. All right. I think that's it.